Hello and welcome to Mouse in the Mitten Trivia Pod, a podcast where you can test your Disney trivia knowledge over a variety of topics. My name's Court and I will be your host. Our game will consist of 5 rounds of 6 questions, covering everything from your basic Disney knowledge to some unknown facts. Each question is worth 1 point unless otherwise noted. Make sure you follow us on social media at Mouse in the Mitten on Facebook, on Instagram, and TikTok. And hey, if you're watching us over on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you turn on that bell for notifications. And of course, give us a thumbs up as well. Now, nothing compares to planning your next Disney vacation. My wife and I are doing that right now, but there's a lot that goes into it. If you need a little bit of help planning your next Disney vacation, I would love to help plan that vacation with you. You can email me at mouseinthemitten@gmail.com and we can get you all squared away. Now, one of the places that you can visit is Disneyland Paris. Disneyland Paris has an anniversary coming up, so of course we want to celebrate that anniversary. So this first round is dedicated to everything Disneyland Paris. So let's get started with question number 1. Within 2, what year did Disneyland Paris open? Question number 2. Name either of the 2 parks that you can explore in Disneyland Paris. Question number 3. What was the name of Disneyland Paris before changing to its current name? Question number 4. Name the Disney figure who spurred the building of Disneyland Paris. Question number 5. Paris is known for its castles. What castle can you find in Disneyland Paris? And question number 6. What made the Nighttime Spectacular Disney Delight unique compared to other Disney Nighttime Spectaculars that had never been done by Disney before? All right, I'm going to give you a few seconds worth of music, try to come up with those answers, and then I will return. All right, let's get you some answers here on Disneyland Paris. So question number 1. Within 2, what year did Disneyland Paris open? Well, it opened on April 12th, 1992. So in order to get the point there, what it had to say between 1990 and 1994. So yeah, they just celebrated their 30th anniversary. Really cool design with the way they turned the 3 kind of sideways to kind of make it look like Mickey's ears. It was really, really cool. And I really wish that I had gotten a chance to go over there to see all the spectacle, though. I mean, I had to celebrate for Magic Kingdom's 50th anniversary, but you know, I guess it would have been cool to see the 30th anniversary as well. Question number 2. Name either of the 2 parks that you can explore in Disneyland Paris. Well, it's either Disneyland Park or Walt Disney Studio Park. Both of those are not extremely huge, especially compared to some of the parks over here in the United States, but they both have their unique flavor. Question number 3. What was the name of Disneyland Paris before changing to its current name? Well, that would be Euro Disney. When they first opened, they were Euro Disney. They were kind of trying to encapsulate all of Europe into one location, and it didn't really work. Marketing wise, it didn't really work all that well. This is technically Disney's only European park, and they tried to encapsulate all of Europe into it. It just, at the time, didn't work. So they changed the name to Disneyland Paris and has seen a little bit more success. Question number 4. Name the Disney figure who spurred the building of Disneyland Paris. Well, that would be Michael Eisner. He saw a market. He wanted to go after that market. The market obviously being Europe. They chose Paris. Ended up being a pretty good gamble for him, though it didn't start out as well as they'd hoped. It got better over time, and it's gotten better since then, but it didn't start out too well, but it's gotten better. Question number 5. Paris is known for its castles. What castle can you find in Disneyland Paris? Well, that is Sleeping Beauty's castle. It's a really cool and unique style, the way that they did it. It's really cool. I hope to someday see it in person, but I love how much the attention to detail, obviously it's Disney, there's huge attention to detail, but I would love to see it in the way that it's built into the hill and the nighttime spectaculars they do with it. It just looks really, really cool, and I want to see it in person. Last but not least, question number 6. What made the nighttime spectacular Disney Delight unique compared to other Disney nighttime spectaculars that had never been done before by Disney? Well, that had a drone show. It had fireworks as well, but there was also a unique drone show feature that Disney up to that point had not done before. So I saw it as really cool. The videos I've seen of it have been really cool. I still think that that was an example of something that Disney's trying to do to get ready for the Paris Olympics this summer and then the LA Olympics in 2028. I'm trying to do the math there. Because I think Disney's going to have a hand in opening and closing ceremonies for both of those. Definitely, drone shows are huge right now. We had one in Detroit before playoff games to celebrate the Lions, everything else like that. So they are becoming more and more popular, and the fact that they're a little bit more eco-friendly than fireworks, I see more and more of these starting to come around, especially for Disney, and especially as drone shows continue to gain popularity. But definitely Disneyland Paris on my list of places I would love to visit. Continuing on now into round number 2. Round number 2 is our fast facts. For this round, I'm going to give you simple questions that have simple answers. Today's category is, can I stay here? For this round, what you're going to do is I'm going to give you the name of a resort. You just have to say whether that resort is in Paris or not. So a simple yes, no. Is this resort a Disneyland Paris resort or is it not? So let's get started with question number 1. Disney Hotel Cheyenne. Question number 2. Disney's Hotel Santa Fe. Question number 3. Disney's Davy Crockett Ranch. Question number 4. Disney's Port Orleans French Quarters. Question number 5. Disney Hotel New York, The Art of Marvel. And question number 6. Disney Newport Bay Club. All right, let's get you some answers here on these fast facts. I do apologize if there's any extra background noise. Sounds like now is a good time for them to be doing some road work in front of my house. Who would have thunk? Question number 1. Disney's Hotel Cheyenne, that is a yes. That is one of the hotels that you can find, or resorts that you can find in Paris. Question number 2. Disney's Hotel Santa Fe, that one is also a yes. That one, yes, you can find in Paris. Now, it should be noted that not all these resorts are similar in distance to some of the Disney resorts that we are familiar with here in the U.S. Some of them are a little bit further away, but still, they are considered Disney resorts. Question number 3. Disney's Davy Crockett Ranch, that one is a yes. That one is kind of Fort Wildernessy, if you will. If you've ever been to Disney World, it kind of gives that same kind of vibe. Question number 4. Disney's Port Orleans French Quarters, that one is a no. That one, Port Orleans French Quarters, that is down in Disney World. Question number 5. Disney's Hotel New York, The Art of Marvel, that one is a yes. It seems like really cool. It's just went over a huge revamp. That's why you have the Art of Marvel in there. They have a lot of Marvel objects in there, and it looks really, really cool. Last but not least, question number 6. Disney Newport Bay Club. That one is a yes. Now, as you can tell by some of these names, there is a huge fascination with American culture and trying to infuse American culture. It might have been one of the reasons why Euro Disney didn't start out too well, was the trying to infuse too much American culture, which I understand. Us in France, they're our longest standing allies, but trying to force something in still Maybe not, didn't work out so much at the beginning, but it's starting to kind of come around now. So it'd be cool. Any one of these resorts down over in Paris look really cool and definitely worth checking out if you ever get the opportunity to go. Continuing on now to round number 3. Round number 3 is our connecting the circles. For this round, I'm going to give you 5 questions that may or may not be Disney related, but the answers do relate somehow through Disney. And that's going to be the 6th question, is what is that Disney connection? So let's get started with question number 1. What movie was the 50th full-length feature animation movie and was one that had been worked on since the release of Snow White? Question number 2. Name the Wondery podcast that debuted in 2018 about a doctor and his malpractices. Question number 3. What NBC show was on from 2016 until 2022 and stars Sterling K. Brown and Milo Ventimiglia, among others? Question number 4. What 2001 movie was the first full-length feature film for Anne Hathaway? Question number 5. Name the 2002 movie based on the same book title by Nicholas Sparks and is about a high school romance between the school's troublemaker and a quiet girl whose dad is a pastor. And question number 6 is what is the connection? I'm going to give you a few seconds to try to figure that one out. I will give you a hint. It's someone's birthday this week. So I'll leave it at that. I'm going to give you a few seconds worth of music and then I will come back with the answers. Let's see if we can connect those circles. So question number 1. What movie was Disney's 50th full-length feature animation movie and was one that had been worked on since the release of Snow White? That is Tangled. This one was anytime I get the chance to talk about Tangled, I'm going to take the opportunity to. It's a great movie. It's really fun. It's one of my daughter's favorites, one of my wife's favorites. Really enjoy it. And of course, it's one that they'd been working on for several years. Rumor is Walt wanted to make this the second movie after Snow White. The problem is they couldn't quite figure out the hair. Eventually they did, and it's now the most expensive animated movie ever made. Still is, and it's been a couple years. So it's really spectacular. Question number 2. Name the Wondery podcast that debuted in 2018 about a doctor and his malpractices. That is Dr. Death. Now, there have been a couple different seasons of that since, but the first one is Dr. Death that came out in 2018, and they've turned it into a little bit of a TV adaptation as well. Question number 3. What NBC show was on from 2016 until 2022 and stars Sterling K. Brown and Milo Ventimiglia, amongst others? That is This Is Us, a good show. It kind of lost its way a little bit, but the last season was very solid as well. Question number 4. What 2001 movie was the first full-length feature film for Anne Hathaway? That is The Princess Diaries. Yeah, if you look at Anne Hathaway's credentials on all the projects she's ever done for both movies and TVs, that was her second production she was ever in, and therefore makes it the first movie she was in. It was a feature full length as well. Question number 5. Name the 2002 movie based on the same book title by Nicholas Sparks and is about a high school romance between the high school troublemaker and the quiet girl whose dad is a pastor. That is A Walk to Remember. Now, if I had just said 2002 movie from Nicholas Sparks, there's a whole list of those. Let me guess, it's a boy and a girl that shouldn't fall in love, and they do, and it's in the Carolinas. Yeah, that's also true, but the high school romance, the bad boy, the quiet girl, the girl's dad's the pastor, that hopefully tipped you off to A Walk to Remember. So we had answers such as Tangled, Dr. Death, This Is Us, The Princess Diaries, and A Walk to Remember. The connection there is all of those have Mandy Moore in them. And as mentioned, it is her birthday today. She was born on April 10th, 1984. So had to do a little bit of fun with Mandy Moore and some of her more iconic roles. Obviously in Tangled as Rapunzel, fantastic. She was great in This Is Us, playing, a huge variety. Going from the brand new mom all the way to the grandma and every age in between, just fantastic. Obviously, she was the cheerleader in The Princess Diaries. She was in the first one, not the second one. And then in A Walk to Remember, she was the female character. She was the quiet girl whose dad was a pastor. Fantastic actor, even better singer. Just wanted to give her a shout out and say happy birthday. All right, let's continue on into round number 4. Round number 4 is typically saved for movie anniversaries. And hold on to your hats, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to pull into a Disney movie that is just one of those that it doesn't really feel like a Disney movie. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about James and the Giant Peach. So this is a unique movie. It's a little bit darker. It has real life, has claymation. It's a very unique movie. At the same time, it is very interesting as well. So let's get started with question number 1. Within 2, what year was James and the Giant Peach released in U.S. theaters? Question number 2. What director of a legendary Halloween movie, along with several other claymation movies, was a producer of James and the Giant Peach? Question number 3. Name the writer of the original book that the movie was based on. Question number 4. What actor known for his roles in movies such as Jaws, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, and The American President voices Mr. Centipede? Question number 5. How does the peach fly? And question number 6. From the connection made in a previous question, what Disney character can be seen in James and the Giant Peach, though some have speculated that it's just by coincidence? All right, I'm going to give you a few seconds worth of music, try to come up with those answers, and then I will return. All right, let's give you some answers here on James and the Giant Peach. So question number 1. Within 2, what year was James and the Giant Peach released in U.S. theaters? Well, it was released on April 12th, 1996. So in order to get the point there, you would have to say between 1994 and 1992. Now, it came out like 6 months later in England. So that's why I wanted to specify specifically the U.S. is because it did come out 6 months later in England, but it's hard to believe that movie came out in 1996. Question number 2. What director of a legendary Halloween movie, along with several other claymations, was a producer of James and the Giant Peach? Well, that was Tim Burton. So if I had added former Disney animator, maybe you would have gotten that one as well. But yeah, Tim Burton was a producer. And again, if you've ever seen the movie, there's some darkness to it. That one makes sense. And it's claymation. At the time, claymation was kind of his thing-ish, kind of. So that one goes hand in hand. Question number 3. Name the writer of the original book that the movie was based on. That is Roald Dahl. Now, I specifically remember being in elementary school and reading James and the Giant Peach just before it came out in theaters. I don't know if that was planned. I have a feeling it was. But still, cool book. It was good, and I felt like the movie stick to the book pretty well. Obviously, there's going to be some changes, but did a pretty good job of that. Question number 4. What actor known for his roles in movies such as Jaws, Close Encounter of the Third Kind, and The American President voices Mr. Centipede? That is Richard Dreyfuss. He did a great job. Threw on a huge, thick New York accent for it, but I felt like he did a good job. He added a little bit of spice to the character as well. Question number 5. How did the peach fly? Well, it flew by seagulls. They wrangled a bunch of seagulls all together. They tied them to the peach, and next thing you know, it flew a peach from London, England, over to New York City, because that happens regularly. It's not freezing cold at all, and apparently in one night. So it's an amazing story. Not true at all, but it's an amazing story. And it's kind of, that's one of the things about Roald Dahl, is he does a great job of making these things seem real, even though probably not. And that's what makes it fun as well. Last but not least, question number 6. From the connection made in a previous question, what Disney character can be seen in James and the Giant Peach, though some have speculated that it's just by coincidence? If I had changed this from the connection made with Tim Burton, what character is seen in James and the Giant Peach? That is Jack Skellington. There's a scene where they're fighting pirates underwater, and Jack Skellington is one of the pirates. Now, is it the exact same claymation that was used in The Nightmare Before Christmas? Maybe. It's some speculation that it is, some speculation that it's not, that they just recreated it. I don't know. Either way, great scene, good movie. If you get a chance, it's on Disney Plus. Highly recommend it. Wrapping up today's game with round number 5. Round number 5 is going to be a little bit different than the previous rounds. This round is simply going to be called Name That Ride. Now, this time, instead of giving you a question as to the ride or giving you a question, you got to name the ride, we're going to try something a little bit different. I'm going to give you clues as to what ride we are looking for specifically. There's going to be one answer here. If you get the ride correct on the first question, on the first clue, you get 6 points. On the second clue, you get 5, so on and so forth. All right, and then, of course, I will give you the answer, but we're looking for one specific answer to this, what name that ride. So let's get started with clue number 1. This ride opened on April 7th, 2006. Clue number 2. The ride averages 2,050 passengers per hour. Clue number 3. In 2019, this ride was passed by Hagrid's Magical Creations motorbike adventure as the most expensive ride in the world. Clue number 4. This ride was the first in Disney to go both forward and backwards. Clue number 5. On this ride, everyone wants to see A mode, but it is stuck in disco mode. And clue number 6. While in the queue, you are brought through the fictional Himalayan Escapes travel agency in Nepal, which helps the ride fit perfectly in the Asia part of Animal Kingdom. All right, I'm going to give you a few seconds worth of music, see if you can come up with that ride, and then I will return. All right, wrapping up today's game with Name That Ride. Remember, we are looking for the name of this ride that the clues gave us the answer to. The ride name that we are looking for is Expedition Everest. This is a roller coaster. It's one of my favorite rides. Obviously, anniversary this week on April 7th, 2006. It opened up. And yes, it was the first ride in Disney to go both forward and backwards. It's a really unique take. Definitely not the biggest roller coaster in the world, but definitely a lot of fun. Now, obviously in there, we talked about Hagrid's Magical Creation as well. A fun ride. That one's significantly longer, but that one is now considered the most expensive roller coaster in the world. For a while there, Expedition Everest held that title as the most expensive ride in the world. And of course, that Yeti. We would all love to see it move and everything else like that in A mode, but it's in B mode still with the strobes and everything else like that, and we get a Disco Yeti. So one of my favorite rides, a lot of fun, and definitely if you go to Animal Kingdom and you're tall enough to be able to ride it, definitely, and let me add this caveat, if you are healthy enough to ride it, definitely put it on your list of great rides to check out. Well, I want to thank you for tuning in this week. I will return next Thursday with more questions and more fun. Make sure you're following us on social media at Mouse in the Mitten on Facebook, on Instagram, and on TikTok. If you're watching us on YouTube, again, hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, turn that bell on for notifications. If you are listening to us, make sure you follow us on Apple Podcasts. If you are listening on another platform, make sure you are subscribed. Give us a 5-star review wherever you can. Let us know what your score is on YouTube. Let us know in the comments what your score is as well. And again, there's a lot that goes into a Disney vacation. I want to help you make it as magical and as awesome as humanly possible. So if you want a little bit of extra help, email me at mouseinthemitten@gmail.com. I'd love to get you all set up and all squared away. Well, hey, my name's Court. The dog's name is Milo. I appreciate you tuning in, and I will see you next time.